Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the HerStory Online Summit, Day 6 and Session 2. Wow, we have been going for 6 days with inspiring speakers from all over the world. So the HerStory Summit is a platform that brings you the stories of extraordinary women who are changing the world. My name is Gertrude Mache. I am the founder and global curator of the HerStory Circle movement, and I'm really honored to be joining you from Melbourne, Australia today. To begin with, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I want to pay my respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to all First Nations people joining us from around the world. Over the next few days, we will dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of remarkable women. These are stories of courage, resilience, creativity, and leadership. Stories that remind us that when women rise, communities and nations rise with them. This summit is more than just a series of talks. It's a global circle, a space for inspiration, connection, and transformation. Together, we will share knowledge, ignite conversations, and plant seeds of change. So I invite you to grab a cup of coffee, settle in, open your heart, and allow yourself to be inspired by the incredible journeys that we will hear today. This is her story because every woman's voice matters, and every story has got the power to change the world. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker for tonight, an incredible woman who is changing the world in so many ways, coming to us all the way from the UK. Medini is a transformational teacher, a speaker, a healer, whose life journey has taken her through a near-death experience and several near-death experiences, psychiatric recovery, and decades of exploration into the human body, mind, and spirit. She introduces the groundbreaking concept of the primary brain, the energetic intelligence housed in the navel that she believes holds the key to freeing humanity from unconscious programming and the matrix of societal conditioning. With a background in yoga, healing practices, personal training, and lived experience of mental health struggles, she now dedicates her work to helping people reconnect with their innate power, reclaim their individuality, and live consciously. Through her vision courses, festivals, and community building, she's on a mission to awaken people to their true selves and collective transformation. So every single day, I get to meet these incredible human beings who are bringing ways of being, ways of living to our community. So welcome, 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 my sister, to our tribe. It's such an honor to have you here. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Gertrude, for introducing me. I'm pleased to be here. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm gonna start straight away. So my topic is reconnect to the primary brain you never knew you had and unplug from the matrix. So I came to the UK when I was a teenager. And when I came here, I met a friend who became my best friend and possibly my only friend. And through her, I met a psychic, her aunt. And at this time, I really wanted to get to know about my future. I didn't have a clue what it was. So I used to nag her a lot, trying to find out. And the only thing that's really stuck in my mind were the words, whenever I focus on Medini, I see power. Now, it did not mean much to me. I was just merely 16, 17 years old, but it stayed with me throughout my life until now. So I carried on with life. I studied, worked hard, got a degree as a qualified accountant, and carried on working. I got married, And I enjoyed life in my 20s. And I love dancing, and any 20-year-old teenager would love to do. So I carried on, and my daughter was born when I was 31 years old. And soon after that, I was diagnosed with depression and hyperthyroidism. Now, there was not much I can do. I listened to my doctors, and I was told I had to take my medications for life, which I did. I carried on with life, um, uh, living that way and controlling my depression as much as possible. Now, soon after my daughter was born, and I was going through trying to cope with life and her birth and her growth, when I was when she was about a year and a half old, the depression took hold of me, and I tried to take my own life. I just felt I wasn't good enough for her. So I don't want to go into the details of it, but the words I came back with because I had this determination to live. I didn't want to die at the time. In the ambulance, the words I came back with were, "You have work to do, go back." And so I came back. I was basically pushed back into my body. And now I carried on with life with the two phrases, "I am power, I have work to do." These two didn't mean anything to me at the time. I was clueless. So I just carried on with life, and I was determined to get out of this depression I was in. So I went on group therapies, one-to-one therapies. I started doing my meditation practices that were out there, yoga, different types of healing modalities. I did courses on them. I did psychic work. I went into tarot cards. I even started trading on the stock markets. I did some development, property developments, but nothing stayed with me. It did not resonate with me. So then in 2012, I just had another episode. I was doing one of my self-created meditation practices, and suddenly I started seeing things, hearing things, and of course I was fully aware of what was happening. I knew it was there, but obviously not everyone else felt the same way, and they felt that I needed help. So I was dragged into a psychiatric hospital where I was checked out. I was asked to stay overnight. And it became day after day, they weren't letting me go home to my children. I couldn't see my children. And I decided I need to get out of here. And after 2 weeks, I just made myself extremely strong, resilient, and I got out. And it was all down to me. No one really helped me because they obviously felt that there was something wrong with me. I got out. Now I had to get back into work. I was going through separation at the time as well. And I couldn't get back into a career in accounting because there was far too much competition, and the state of my mind, the medications I was on, I just could not get back into it. So I finally decided to qualify as a driving instructor, which I did in 2017. It was great. I was meeting a lot of different people there. They had different mental health issues, and I was challenged every moment with these students. But the problem came in September 2018. My doctor calls me out of the blue after blood test results. It was just standard normal blood test results, and she came up and said, "We got your blood test and we need you to go to hospital straight away to get checked out. Your results are out of the ordinary. There's no one alive with these kinds of results, and you might have to stay overnight or longer if necessary." And I said, "I can't do that, I'm working." So they wouldn't have no for an answer. So I ended up going eventually, but on my terms. And the results, just for the record, was 291, my T3 results. And the normal figure is normally around 5. So this sounded like a really bad joke to me. And I went anyway. I didn't have a choice. And they couldn't find anything wrong with me. And I carried on working. Even after I came back, I got referred to specialists. They couldn't help me out. So I got discharged back to my GP. And soon after, I realized that my job was on the line, the only job that was putting food on the table. So that was hard for me to put up with. So the governing body for driving instructors came after me and started testing me out to see if I can really teach my pupils. And they pretended to be my pupils, and they put some really cruel tests. And luckily for me, I passed them with flying colors. And that was a great experience for me. So I carried on teaching, and then I decided to put myself under a final test. I needed that final test to be self-imposed. So I completely withdrew from everyone in around towards the end of 2019. I withdrew from my family, my friends. I withdrew from the matrix completely, as I call it now. And I at that around that time I had given up on all medications, my antidepressants and thyroxine tablets. I gave up on all of that. I gave up on all supplements, and I didn't take the vaccines. I also tried to spend as much time as possible close to people who were sick. Now that was one fine challenge, and I did not get sick. Nothing happened to me. I was perfectly fine. At this moment, I realized I know the meaning of I am power, and I have work to do. I need to take what I had learned throughout my experiences and my observations out to the world to help others. I had been working using my primary brain all along throughout my life, but I wasn't aware of it. It was happening energetically. And that's how I was born. That's how I carried on with my life. And all the experiences and observations I went through was to find out physically what was going on and to become physically aware of what was happening to me. So it was to happen in 2025. There was a few things that I discovered along my journey. Firstly, when I was in psychiatric hospital, it was devastating to observe how people was totally being controlled. They were unconscious of what they were doing every moment. They were just walking up and down. They were going to the toilet right down in front of me on the floor. And it was really sad to watch. The second lot was as a driving instructor. I would like to talk about a few things I came across and observed. When you go to a doctor or to the hospital and you're told by them that your loved one is unconscious, all you see is someone lying down on a bed. They can't sleep, they can't walk, talk. They're probably sleeping unconsciously, walk, talk. They can't do anything. They can't eat. Pretty much they're helpless. Now, that's how you are right now. That's the impression I got when I was told by the doctors about my loved ones. Now, that was devastating. And next thing I noticed was, as a driver, you have to be totally conscious, be able to multitask, and be able to respond very quickly to changing circumstances. Now, how do accidents happen? It's not a wrong judgment. It's basically you losing consciousness. For that split second, you don't realize what you're doing. And you do something that causes that accident. You don't go out of the house saying to yourself, okay, it's time, I need to have this accident. You don't do that. If you're conscious enough, you're sure to actually stop yourself having any form of accidents. Now, I met few students where I tell them the pros and the cons. and I expect them to do it with my guidance. Now, they can't keep up. They will always do the opposite of what I'm asking them to do. Now, they're totally conscious, unconscious at this moment. They don't know what's happening. They're running through a program. And the other things I noticed was they tell me, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm still doing it. So these are really disturbing situations that I came across. And this is not happening just in terms of driving, but I use driving as an example because I got a lot of different types of experiences and observations through that as to what was happening. So, what is your primary brain in the navel and what is the matrix? Let's start with the primary brain in the navel. Now, when you're first conceived inside your mother's womb, you grow and grow and grow. Now, there's an umbilical cord that is connected to you, and that helps you to grow. It is not just food that is fed through that umbilical cord. There is this consciousness that comes through the egg and through the umbilical cord into creating that baby. It is not the secondary brain in the head, and that's not what's creating you, basically, inside the womb. And the primary brain in the navel is not your secondary brain, and it is in no way the gut brain. This is actual consciousness. You need to be able to try and understand that, but I know it's very difficult at the moment because the most important and connection that you have is between your heart and your primary brain in the navel. The primary brain in the navel created your heart, but it was disconnected. And that connection does not exist for you right now. You don't feel anything between the two. And this is really sad for me to grasp because I have that connection. I know that connection. So you're grown. If you look on the internet and look at the 9-month cycle of a baby, the baby gets the energy from the consciousness, and the food is fed through the umbilical cord to create the baby at every single stage. And I really hope you get to understand that. As soon as that umbilical cord is cut, you enter what you call the matrix now. That's what I call it now, but I had various different names for it along my path. And you enter that neural network system, and that controls you. That tells you what to do and what not to do, what is good, bad, and everything comes from your parents. You're connected to society in this way, comes from parents, siblings, teachers, your peers, your colleagues. You're absorbing all that information within that neural network system. So you're connected through that to other people as well as inside of you. And also, you can absorb information through electronic devices such as computers and phones. And you're being controlled within that neural network system. There's not much you can do at the moment. So this is why everything that happened when I was teaching driving is happening through this neural network system. And this is really sad for me. So what I would like to do, I'm not sure how much time I have right now, but it's 2 exercises for you to take away to begin this process. And first is intention, to connect your consciousness. And secondly is deep breathing, to give it energy through your breath to waken it up. And you can see how beautiful it is. So I'm not sure if I have enough time here, but I'll start with it, and I might be asked to stop in between.
Go ahead and do it and finish.
Okay, thank you. So I would like you all to close your eyes for a moment and focus inside your navel. And I would like to you to go right through that navel and keep going. It's really dark for you at the moment. I can clearly see that. And it's dark. it may be black, and keep going through and through and through until you see this white dot. Have a look at that white dot and just see how beautiful it is if you were to expand it. I'm going to give you a helping hand here and help you to expand it. And stay with me here. And now I would like you to focus on your breathing. So you're going to keep your mouth closed. It does not open it with this exercise. And you're using only your nose to inhale and exhale. So start inhaling through your nose and bring the air into your lungs and through your lungs into your abdomen. Feel your abdomen expanding and the air is flowing through the diaphragm because the diaphragm is now flattened and into your navel, and you're giving that light as much energy as you can. Just feel that light absorbing all your breath and just keep feeling it. And you'll feel that light trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But somehow it might be difficult for you because you haven't seen it before happening. Now, without holding your breath, don't hold your breath. Exhale out, so you're bringing your air through your abdomen into your lungs and out through your nose. And keep it smooth. Inhale back, don't hold your breath, through your lungs into your abdomen. Expand your abdomen. Send that air into your navel and back into that light. Without holding your breath, exhale again, keeping your mouth closed. And back up, there comes back up through your nose and out. Some of you might have felt this. I would like to ask you to come out of this exercise, please, because we haven't got much time. But you can keep doing this in your own time at any time. You can be sitting in a park. You can take a 1-minute break whilst you're working, whilst you're at home, whilst you're drinking a cup of coffee, tea, whilst you're lying in bed. Intention is really important. If you don't have that intention to become consciousness, it's going to be really hard. So that is the primary goal, is to feel that light at the inside the navel and then keep deep breathing. So in summary, all I would like to say is you're an individual, you're precious, and you don't deserve to be controlled. I didn't allow it. I stayed strong. I knew what I was, who I was. I just needed to become aware of it. I don't expect you to go through what I did. So this is my vision, to bring consciousness to planet Earth and whole of humanity. I am power and I have work to do. And this is my work. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with the community today.
Okay.
Thank you for your vulnerability and your strength. The work you're doing is absolutely amazing. We've had people chiming in online. We have a few comments coming in from LinkedIn.
Okay.
Somebody saying that this sounds fascinating and thanking you for sharing this with us. So you're empowering so many with your message, and what you went through was something you went through so that you can help others, right?
Yeah.
So let's unpack your story and really get to understand the experiences that you had.
Okay.
What do you mean when you say most people are living in the matrix?
Okay. Matrix, I give it the term matrix now, but I have given it so many different names. There's a film called The Matrix, so that's why I'm relating it to that. You are plugged in to this neural network system that is controlled because you don't have control of these electrical signals that are running through you, through air, between people, through computers, through other electronic devices. You don't have control. So it is these electrical signals that are continuously going in and out from your brain, secondary brain in the head, through your spinal cord into your whole body to tell you what you should do, what taste you should have, what smells you should have, and that you can't have anything else. This is what you have to have. And you are not able to say, no, this is not right, and I want to feel this. You can't come out of that matrix to say that. You can't come out of the matrix to say, I want to feel how this energy inside my navel was used to create me. You're not allowed. You've been cut off physically, and you're not allowed to connect with it energetically.
Right.
That's how I'm telling you this, because I lost a lot of people. I don't keep in touch with this best friend I have.
Yeah.
I had to detach from all the other friends I have. I had to detach from my family. My daughter does not talk to me because she gets anxiety when she's around me.
Mm.
This is really sad.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to still live in the matrix. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be told that when you go on the internet and do a search on your taste buds on the tongue, you will see there's something called the umami taste bud. That is not a taste bud. We don't have a hot taste bud. I like chilies. I can taste chilies on my tongue, but we don't have that taste bud. You can go on the internet and do a search. We don't have that taste bud. Now, umami is not a taste bud. So these are so many things that have come across that tells me that you're living in a matrix. You're told this is how you should be,
Mm.
and it's not
So,
right.
how did your mental health journey, especially your time in the psych unit, shape your understanding of consciousness?
Um, I was observing a lot. I knew I was okay totally. There was absolutely nothing wrong with me. I can see dark energies, ghosts. I can see all these things, but I can't tell people that. They would say I'm crazy. It's not normal. It's
Mm.
not part of the neural network system for people to understand. It is real, but it was real to me. So I used to, the way I knew it was real to me was I observed people doing things, being on the floor whilst walking, talking to themselves, and I'm sitting there observing them and saying, okay, I can see ghosts here. I can see these people doing these things. I'm conscious I can see the ghosts, but these people are totally, absolutely unconscious of what they're doing.
Mm.
I would
Mm.
never be on the floor whilst walking. I would not talk to myself so other people can hear. So that was disturbing for me.
So, you were really an observer while you were there.
Yes, I was.
So, you've studied many healing modalities, such as yoga to nutrition to psych work.
Yeah.
What practices have had the biggest impact on your journey?
Okay. The yoga I was always into yoga, but I decided to qualify as a yoga instructor. I wanted to understand more about the anatomy, what was happening anatomically. So that's why I did most of these courses. Healing work, I did so many different types, including Reiki. Nothing stayed with me. I could not resonate with it. It just felt like I was told that the energy has to come through you and out of you. I
Mm.
didn't like that idea. I really absolutely rejected that. Most of the other healing modalities were similar. It was coming through me and out, and I was learning about the chakra system. It didn't feel right to me. I work with physical organs. I don't work with energy centers. So that's what I discovered, that these energy centers were not right for me. It wasn't working for me. So I
Okay.
worked with actual physical objects like the heart, the brain in the head, and also the navel, the inside of the navel. That's where I went in.
Mm.
And that's how I felt I needed to go deeper to find out, how was I born? How was I created? I realized it wasn't that brain. How was that brain created? How was
Mm.
my heart created? And that's the energy I went looking for. And that's inside my navel. And I
Now,
had to be aware. Yeah.
speaking of energy, what role does energy play in how we live, heal, and interact with one another?
Energies, we are energy, basically. Energies everywhere. This computer is energy, phone is energy, everything's energy. So if you got an object in your hand, for example, a stone or anything, you shake it violently, it'll get to a stage where you won't see that object.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that is the energy I work with. And these were all experiments I did on myself. So that energy has slowly become materialized to form what we are. And this is just different types of energy.
So, how do you help people recognize when they are unconsciously following the matrix rather than living on their own selves and their own terms?
I keep asking questions, coaching questions,
Mm-hmm.
and mentoring questions. So the students who come up to me and say, "Oh, I know I'm doing that wrong." Like, for example, I tell them, check the center mirror and left mirror, signal left because we're turning left. They'll automatically check the center mirror, right mirror, signal left. And I'm wondering, I just specifically said left mirror. Why aren't you checking the left mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Prove to me that what I'm saying is wrong and what you're doing is right. And they
Right.
absolutely have no clue why they're doing it when I specifically said, focus in the direction you're going. You're going left. Check the center mirror and the left mirror. They can't give me a reason. They just keep quiet. And that is
Because,
how that's the only way I can make them aware.
wow. Now, what challenges have you faced in sharing such a radical and unconventional idea with the world?
I have gone on the internet quite a lot and had a look to see why people can't recognize that the primary brain is in the navel. When I tell them, they are saying, oh, it's a second brain, it's the gut brain. I said, no, that is not the gut brain. It is not a secondary brain. It is the primary brain that created the baby. And I start getting all these pictures out of the baby being created in the womb. The brain in the head was created by the primary brain in the abdomen, in the navel, but they can't connect because their
Right.
heart and the navel are not connected. It was cut off completely. So it doesn't exist. They just can't. If I asked you to connect the heart and the brain in the navel, can you connect it?
No, you
Can you
can't.
see that connection? No, there is no connection. It might be black, or you can maybe create a black dark code, but the light isn't there. That
Yeah,
light
that's
is
so
sitting
true.
there hidden. That tiny little dot is hidden. It is so scared to come out. It is being hidden, suppressed. It doesn't want to come out.
Hmm.
And in the
So,
meantime, you're controlled by the neural network system.
so, what daily practices do you personally use to stay connected to your primary brain and your true self?
Awareness. Now it's awareness. I knew
Mm,
all along I was living like that. Hence the reason why I didn't have many friends. I had
right.
one true friend who brought me out of my near-death experience in that ambulance. She was the only one there, basically the true friend. So I have been living like this all my life. I am power. I have work to do. That's what I came here to do. But I wasn't aware, physically aware, and I can only be physically aware through experiences and observation. And
Mm.
that's why I came into being born here. I had to become aware. There's no other way. I can't do it if I'm dead.
So let's finish off with one last question.
Okay.
If the audience takes away just one thing from your story today, what would you want that to be?
I want them to know where they came from. That power is inside them. It's inside you, not outside. You don't have to die to feel it. You can feel it inside your navel. If you go deep, deep down into that navel, have that intention to go back to where you came from, alive, not after you passed, alive right now. Become consciousness. Each of you is precious. You're an individual, and you need to feel that consciousness whilst you're alive,
Yeah.
not dead.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with us today.
Thank
It's
you, Gertrude.
amazing the work that you're doing, how you're empowering others to really wake up and snap out of the matrix, as you say. Thank you for your work.
Thank you for having me, Gertrude. Thank you.
Absolute honor having you with us today. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. The Her Story Circle is a platform that brings you the stories and voices and experiences of women from all over the world. We share our experiences to uplift you, to empower you, to energize you, but most importantly, to take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are someone who is struggling with some kind of a mental health issue, you're struggling to find some support, here's somebody who can help you. So reach out to us. We will connect you with Medini. Thank you so much. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Thank you. Bye.